in Downing Street and was in there for that press conference. Truly extraordinary. All four of us agreed absolutely on that. What an event that was.
Certainly extraordinary, and only 8 minutes long from start to finish, including the 4 questions that the Prime Minister took. I have to say that there were quite a few of us in the lobby there sitting in the audience expecting that the Prime Minister would perhaps take more than just 4 questions, 2 from broadcast, 2 from print, but that did not materialise. We were left to some extent with more questions than answers. We did get some answers though. Firstly, we know that 31st of October fiscal statement is going ahead. It will be delivered by Jeremy Hunt, someone who ironically in the past has been advocating cutting corporation tax. Well, as Chancellor, one of his first acts will be to raise corporation tax, something clearly this government does not want to do but feels forced to do. And that creates a very difficult power vacuum. Who is leading the country? Liz Truss forced to U-turn over one of her signature policy planks. She was also very clear to emphasise how much she respected the former Chancellor, Kwasi Kwarteng, now one of the shortest-serving Chancellors in the history of the United Kingdom. But perhaps most cryptically of all, one of the lines in that speech, that very short speech given by the Prime Minister, was not only would this corporation tax rise now come into force and act as a down payment on that medium-term fiscal plan, but also that spending will rise less rapidly than previously planned. Now, what does that mean in plain English? Well, we know that a lot is being spent on the energy price freeze. We know that a lot is going to be spent on defence. Healthcare probably ring-fenced as well. So those are all rising. It probably means in some other areas we'll see some cuts.
Tom, final point to you, if I may. And again, we've all been to such events, and afterwards you compare notes with colleagues, you read the runes and how you feel about it. Fortunately, you and I and no hacks make policy decisions, but we do provide the mood music, and there were men and women there in that room who will be doing exactly what you've just done on the TV bulletins tonight, in the newspapers' front pages tomorrow. Benedict Spence said a moment ago he thought her time was pretty well up ere long. How would you read the mood music in the lobby, those men and women who were there live for that press conference with Liz Truss?
Alistair, I'll tell you what, even amongst the journalists from the papers that you would expect to be the most loyally in favour of this government, there was stunned silence. The papers tomorrow will not be pretty for this Prime Minister. I have to say, when she walked away after doing just 4 questions and my colleagues started shouting their questions at her and she walked away, we all sat there for perhaps a minute later in stunned silence, looking around thinking, is that it? Just 8 minutes and 4 questions. Now, we stood up and indeed the lobby chairman tried to get some answers from the Prime Minister's official spokesman. Would there be an impromptu press briefing, perhaps, we thought, to clear up some of these questions that the room had? But no impromptu lobby briefing took place. People standing round, journalists from all different broadcasters and newspapers, wondering what on earth was that. Tomorrow morning will not be pretty for the Prime Minister.
Tom, great work all through the morning. Thank you, and afternoon. Thank you very much indeed. We'll keep in touch.